Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So we shall continue. The last we stopped at slide number 28. They are blind to all except Allah. Only Allah they know. So at this third level, third stage, your eyes only noted the existence of the subtle one. Remember the spiral example I give you. It goes back to that dot. That dot is a light, subtle one. So everything disappear, perish, annihilated. That remain the subtle one, which is eternal because it's part of Allah's part. So when you reach this level, your eyes noted the existence of the subtle self wherever you turn, in control, infinite, supreme, the only existence. The rest are all false manifestations, fantamorgana, hologram, whatever you want to call it, or call them. The real existence, the only existence that prevails, encompasses the subtle one. That's why at this level, you eyes, spiritual eyes, only notice this. The link between you and the subtle one prevailed, must prevail all the time. At the same time also, you know, you are also part of the subtle one, because there can be only one existence wherever you turn. It is in the Quran, wheresoever you turn, there is my continent, the subtle one. Okay. So they are blind to all except Allah. Only Allah they know. It's like a person marooned on an island, land covered with ice. Let's say this is Iceland A. There is another person also marooned at another Iceland B. Strange enough, the one that marooned at the Iceland B died of thirst. Died of thirst. Thirsty. The one marooned on Iceland A survived, nourished with water. Because the one marooned in A could see that the ice covered islands is actually water. whereas the one marooned on Iceland B, died of thirst because he could not know, he did not know or even foresee that the ice on that island is nothing but water. Okay? He could only see the manifestation that is the ice. Whereas the one in Iceland A, could see beyond the manifestation and saw the water. Everywhere he turned, water. Whereas in B, everywhere he turned, only ice. There's a difference. So if you are at this third level, you are on Iceland A. You have the sight. You are no longer blind. You have the knowledge that the ice is nothing but water. So wherever you turn, there is water. Similarly, you have learned that everything before you comes from the subtle. Everything before you are false. Manifestation do not exist. That exists is the subtle one. Therefore, wherever you turn, wheresoever you turn, there is the subtle one. So this is the mainstay, or one of the main menu for those on this third level. Therefore, they are blind to all except Allah. That is the subtle one. Only Allah they know, because subtle one is part of Allah. So only Allah they know. Okay? And that is eternal. So even though their eyes are seeing the objects, the manifestations, and things in a market or town, the manifestation. However, their inner eyes, the spiritual eyes, only see Allah, the subtle self, His contained, the subtle self. Sometimes in its majestic splendor that make you shiver and cry. It's called Jalal. And sometimes in its compassions, which allow you to stay in that situation for hours without being exhausted. It's so nice just to face Him, spiritually facing Him for hours. That is the Jamal, His beauty. So wherever you turn, that is my container, the subtle one. If you see it in majestic splendor, its greatness, you will shiver and cry. Many of us have experienced this. And many of you also can zikrullah for hours, stay up there for hours. With that, you feel His compassion, the beauty. You can stay for hours. Especially at this third level, you will experience this frequently because you are endeavoring to stabilize the link with Him. That means you want to see His containment as much as possible wherever you turn. Thus, you can feel His Jamal and time where you cry. Jalal, or His Jamal where I can stay for hours, zikrullah, remembering. So the third level, your eyes, spiritual eyes, see nothing but his subtle self. Everything perish. That left is my subtle self, my countenance or my subtle self. So if you ask them when they are at the market or city center, what they are seeing, we see nothing, because all that before them perish. These are manifestation. These are sign, you call it hologram, do not exist. The one that really exists is the one behind it, and that is a subtle self. So we see nothing. Yes, they are seen as if seeing the merchandise in a market or city center, but in reality, their spiritual eyes see them not, but rather the container of it. It's a third level which you must practice, which must endeavor as much as possible until you reach the situation, it become normal in that wherever you turn, only you see your spiritual eyes, only see the subtle self. Okay? Therefore, you can understand when Rasulullah SAW shot the arrow during the battle. So the Quraysh people, some got killed, and they shouted, how can a prophet sent to us kill his own ummah? That really caught our prophet, that he felt very down because he was killing his own ummah. Then this verse come down. Oh Muhammad, you did not kill him, but the one who killed him is Allah. To understand this, your spiritual eyes must demolish whatever before you and only see the subtle one. Then you can see it's not Muhammad. Muhammad also perish. The one in action, the one acting is the subtle one. So not only the killer is a subtle one, the victim also is a subtle one. See, victim or the murderer, both are the subtle ones in actions. Okay? So this also proves that he's not cruel to his ummah. He's just having a amusement and play with himself. The killer is the subtle one. The victim also the subtle one. It's not you, Muhammad. You do not exist. You do not exist. So once you understood this ayat or surah, verse is clear to you. Right? Otherwise, by others who don't have this knowledge of God, will say, how can that be? We saw Rasulullah shot the arrow and killed his own ummah, the Quraysh. How can he say he did not? That was people are blind. They don't see the reality, they see the manifestation. So Brothers, my companion, you must be alert of this. That you on the third level, you only see the spiritual eye, see the subtle. Wherever you turn, whatever action on non-action, subtle, which is infinite, part of Allah, infinite. Therefore, being on this third level, your eyes only see one existence, as I said just now. The killer and the victim, both are the subtle one, having amusement and play. Having amusement and play is only one existence, the subtle one. Therefore, to see two existence, that means you have not achieved this level, the third level. Okay? Because if you see two existence, it cannot be. Because he's infinite in existence. He does not share his existence with anyone. Infinite. So you see another existence with him, then for us, well, third level, tantamount to shirk. But you have not achieved this level, it's all right. If you achieved this level and you want to attain this level, you can only see one. You don't see the Muhammad, you see the killer, the actual murderer. Muhammad is just amusement and play. The real murderer behind. But at the same time, the victim also is the same. Okay? So only one existence, infinite, one existence. The murderer and the victims is but him in action, amusement and play. So you can see here. So for a Sufi, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jalani said, for the Sufi, they opined of the opinion that it is a sin to have their yearning coexist with divine will. You cannot exist together with Allah. Your will cannot exist together with Allah. It's a sin. It can be shirk. As such, since you know you do not exist, you will no longer entertain any desire, goal, or purpose. You are devoid of any needs or yearning by virtue that you need or yearning is for Allah only. Divine will then manifest on you. So it's hard, but you have to understand this. Today, let's say you're being cursed by someone. Someone may say, may you fall in a drain and break your leg. Someone said to you. Or he can say, may your children die in fire. Cursed. Now you cannot be upset because you see clearly you don't exist. You are manifestation. The one who cursed you also manifestation. The one acted as the one who cursed, subtle one. The one that acted you, subtle one. Only one existence. So you cannot entertain. That's why you cannot entertain. You think, oh, I did this, no. Oh, I eat this, no. Oh, I achieved this, no. Oh, I conquer this. There is no I, please. No I. No I. You don't entertain any more desire, goal, or purpose. You don't have any need because you don't exist. You eat, it's not you. You breathe, it's not you. Subtle. You smile, you cry, subtle. You don't exist. You are like the wayang kulit, moved by the guy behind the screen. We call it padala. You don't exist. This must be embedded in your mind. You want to stay this third level, it must be there. It's just like I borrow my friend Madam Luli example. Everywhere I go throughout the world, I know in my mind I'm Indonesian. I'm Indonesian. So wherever you turn, whatever you know in your mind, whatever happened to you, you know you don't exist. So you don't scold Allah, curse Allah, or not happy with Allah. You don't exist. All this put in your mind, embedded, you don't exist. As such, you don't entertain desire, goal, purpose, divine yearning, you're not angry, nothing. What you say, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. It's your game, ya Allah. From you and to you, it's your game. I'm not there. From you to you, I'm not there. Because from you to you, I'm not there. You understood well. Everything happened. You understood well. That the amusement and play, there's only one actor, the subtle. He acts in every aspects, in every rules. This is not strange. There are many actors in Hollywood or Bollywood or in any other films company. There are actors who acted many parts. He become a hero. He become a father in a different role. He become a Romeo in another role. He become a statement, senator. But the same person acting in several roles. Just like the subtle self. What you see before you, the roles before you, man, woman, dog, trees, universe, sky, moon, sun, germs, virus, whatever existent, whatever non-existent that you can't see, whatever integrity, honor, all these, the roles played by the subtle. Everything belongs to him. Whatever in the sky, whatever on the earth, whatever you see, whatever you don't see, belong to him. We got no share because we don't exist. So every role that you see in this world, played, father, mother, children, whatever role, donkey, monkey, whatever, ocean, air, space, time, that are the roles played by the subtle one. That is why you can see the hadith. Do not criticize time. The son of Adam hurts me, Allah said, by criticizing time. Because time is me. Time is me. The subtle one. The hadith, they say Surah An-Nur, I am the light of heaven and earth. I am the light of heaven and earth. The light. That is also another role play by him, by the subtle one role play. Only him having all the role play. The train, lorries, all the vehicles are also the role play of the subtle. Because everything perish that remain my feature, the subtle one. Everything come from me. Everything come from me and will come back. Subtle. So you look at the universe, you don't see the universe, the subtle. You look at everything around you, including space and time. All these are role play of the subtle. Behind this is the subtle one, role play. Therefore, wherever you turn, knowing that all these are role play of the subtle one, you can only see the subtle one, not the role play. So this is the level. You must eschew it in your mind. And therefore you can sit down and staring blankly before you. You stare blankly. But your mind, you only see the subtle one. But you can sit there blankly, but your spiritual eyes only see the subtle one, encompassing all. Okay? Your mother, your father, your grandparent, your brother, your sister, your wife, your husband, subtle. The rice that you eat, the porridge, the McDonald's, the Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever the pizza, subtle. They cannot be two existent, only one. Infinite. So the manifestation also only come from one, the subtle one. Having a, use the word, having a ball. Ball means enjoyment. That's why I say, living in this world is nothing but amusement and play. So, this is the concrete platform of the third level, the base, the foundation. Everywhere you turn is me. Everything else perish is me. The subtle self. No. So what is there to be angry? What is there to envy, jealous, whatever? If you understood this concept well, the killer is also the victim. The one who curses is also one being cursed. The one who tortures is the one also being tortured. only one. You come from me and you go back to only one. All other existence are false manifestation. Pantamukan. At this level, you only see the subtle self. And in your mind, the spiritual heart, the mind, is a house in which there is no room for two. That's why as I borrow my dear friend Luli, she said everywhere I go in the world, I know I'm Indonesian. Now this is the same here. There's no room in there except the subtle one. Only one. I only know only one. Subtle self. The eyes, spiritual eyes only see the subtle one. In the mind, the spiritual heart only have the subtle one, zikrullah, remembering of Allah. The subtle one is contained, the subtle one. Hence, the house is to be occupied by Allah. Therefore, you think of Allah, the only existence. Okay? Because the subtle self is part of Allah. We can't know the greater self. It's too big for us, too large. We can't know Allah is greater. Combination of subtle self and the greater self. You can't know him. That's why in the end, those who knew confessed they didn't know. How big is he? But we know he's there, we are facing him because everything perished except him, eternal. But then Allah wants us to know his subtle self. From there, we can make comparison or comparative. Then you can know how big, how great, and so on. So, everything perished except my subtle self. My containment is a subtle self. Everywhere you turn after perish, my subtle self. Even your prayer, I face myself at his container, the subtle self. Okay. And definitely the subtle self is great, even though subtle but great, because it contains everything, not only the outer space, heaven, earth, paradise, whatnot, in the subtle self. Everything. Even though it's small, no? Smaller than a particle of sand, smaller than an atom, smaller than a little seed, but yet contain everything. That smaller, that subtle self, that you say subtle, very small, contain everything that exists. The low mahfuz is in him. So that how great the subtle self. Don't underestimate them. You can't know the greater self. Too big. You will die because you can't carry his greatness. Even the subtle self, some people collapse. Some people even died when the consciousness of his greatness, the subtle self greatness, some had died. Some would cry and cry. So don't talk about the greater self of Allah. That is beyond our comprehension. He wants us to know his subtle self. Everything perish. that left is my subtle self. Wherever you turn, that is my subtle self. When you pray, you say, I stand before the subtle self, the future, the subtle self. That he wants you to know. And to know the subtle self is more than enough. We can't carry the consciousness of the greater self, or Allah, even Allah. Subtle self, we can carry. That you have to bear in mind. And therefore, what Jesus said, Philip, his disciple Philip, goodness belong to him. Goodness belong to him. Okay? There's no other goodness except his goodness. Others don't exist, only him. So you see, that person did a good job. It's him, the subtle. That person is a kind man. It's him, the subtle self. That man is very conscious, very kind. It's him, the subtle. That man is benevolent, donate in charity, the subtle self. That man is a good cook, the subtle self. That man is splendor, handsome, the subtle self. Goodness only belongs to Allah. Infinite. He didn't share his goodness with anyone. Therefore, Jesus said, if God doesn't exist, then goodness does not exist. God is a good without which there is no good. If God didn't exist, there is no goodness. God exists. And this existence is also infinite. So you see human being, the subtle self. You see the animals, the subtle self. You see trees, the subtle self. You see the universe, the subtle self. Only one existence, infinite. The rest are phantom morgana. The rest are manifestation. The rest are hologram. The rest do not exist. Only him. His existence is infinite. Okay? That's why I just say, God is a being. That means God exists. Without his existence, there is no other existence. That's why inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. God is life. Even life is him. The baby is alive. That baby is him. Oh, he was saved from drowning. He's alive. That's him. Okay. The plantation alive. That's him. The universe alive. That's him. Everything alive. That's him. Even that did not alive also, no life also, him. Come back to him. From him, come back to him. So great that he fill all and is everywhere. Infinite. He doesn't share his existence with anyone. That's why he fill all and is everywhere. No equal. He alone had no equal. Nothing can compare with him because there's only one existence, him. There's no comparison. To know him, know the subtle self, then from there, you know how great is he. Right? You see small, then you know how large, because you know small. If you don't know, don't have small, you don't know large. You don't know a person is beautiful unless you know ugly. Like that. But there is only one existence, him, and he having amusement and play with himself. He alone had no equal. He had no beginning. How to have beginning? He only exists. The only existence is him. Everything perish. That remain is my continent. Like, everywhere you turn, my content. I'm the first, I'm the last. That applicable to the manifestation. Because he doesn't have first or last. Everything had he given a beginning, and to everything shall he give an end. That is manifestation. He had no father, of course. His existence is infinite. So how can he have father, mother, son, brethren or companion? This also found in Quran Surah Al-Ikhlas. Bismillah. Kul, say, I'm Allah, the only one. No son, no brother, no companion, because God had no body. This body that you see before you, all body means the features that you see. The features that you see in the sky, the features that you see in the world. Allah is not Allah body. These are manifestation of his subtle self. He doesn't have body. These are just manifestation. He eat not, of course. The one that you see eating all this, these are but amusement and play. The food also the subtle self. The bread also the subtle self. The nasi biryani also the subtle self that you eat. The nasi lemak also subtle self. The drink that you drink, subtle self, encompasses all. And Professor Abu Dawud said, it encompasses even to extent of a little dirt. Encompasses all. The food, the drinks, the fruits, whatever existent in the form of food and beverages, the subtle self. Okay? So, how he eat? All these are but amusement and play. Okay? The food also him, the one who eat also him. Amusement and play. And therefore, he eat not, sleep not, die not, walk not, move not, but abide eternally without human features, similitude. Of course, what you see this before you, all this, these are manifestation. These are hologram, quantum of God. These are not God features. Our body, the trees, the animal, these are not God body, these are manifestation. How God is himself, we don't know. We don't. We only know through comparison of the subtle self, using the subtle self. That's all. The real him. And only we learn to know the subtle self, as I said earlier. You want to know the greater self, you will die. You can't carry. You want to know Allah, worse is a combination of both the subtle and the greater self. You can't. And you can see later the opinion of Professor Ramadan. If you can capture Allah, the whole of Allah existent in your mind, then you are more terror in Allah. No? God. We see that later. There. Professor Ramadan say, if you can encapsulate, that means put Allah, the greatness of Allah inside here, or Allah present, the whole of present of Allah in here, right? This means the vision of your mind is greater than Allah because you can engulf Him, encapsulate, engulf Him in your mind. So you must be greater than Him. Such being the case, He's not fit to be God because there's something lacking in Him, because you can engulf Him. You can see trees, the whole trees, you can put it in your mind. You can see dogs, you can put it in your mind. But universe also you can put it in your mind. And that universe is just a particle of sand. And you want to put the subtle one in your mind, his feature. No. What you can put here is remembrance, not the subtle self. That's why it's zikrullah. Remembrance of Him. Remembrance. Remembrance and the actual reality is different. I can remember Bayu, my good friend. But I cannot put Bayu physically in my, my mind. Impossible. So I can remember Allah, but I cannot put Allah in my mind. If I can, they see, Professor Ramadan say, you are greater than Allah. You know. And therefore, we are taught this knowledge, you at the third level. Therefore, we are no longer ignorant. We know the fact that these are amusement and play of the subtle self. Right? We know we do not exist. We know every role play behind the subtle self. So there is nothing to gainsay. We are good, bad, whatever. We are hero. We are beautiful singer. Nothing to gainsay. So you don't exist. Okay? That's the true knowledge. And that's why Imam Ghazali said, you know your God, you know yourself, you don't exist. Okay? This statement is not easy for people to explain unless you are in our line, the Sufis, and you have the knowledge of them. It's difficult. Many people, even the last seminar at Semarang, a very qualified person, a very high post in the university, still asks, her present, how can say, I do not exist? Okay. So it's a very high level. You have a knowledge that surpasses generation ahead to come. Because our generation, especially in the Southeast Asia and Asia, their knowledge still at the third world level. What grip of the third world? To believe without asking. You call it mukhalid. Just follow blindly without asking. But we are discussing of future knowledge. When the first world, there will be freedom of expression, freedom of speech, where children 2 years old can speak very well, be it English, Malay, Arabic, 2 years old. 6 years old, they can be genius at, this computer or not. These are the people where their mind is open up. They are not taking things blindly. They will ask. They want to know. And we are blessed, alhamdulillah, with this knowledge. This knowledge meant for the future. For us, still a long way to go to change our ummah from the third world thinking to the first world. But we have to start. We have to endeavor. Islam also started with the Prophet, with small followers, and then it grows. We also start small, but now it's expanding slowly. So what we are giving a knowledge for the first world, for our children, great-grandchildren to know this knowledge and to handle the situation when the Southeast Asia and Asia become first world, when there will be freedom of expression, freedom of speech, where there will be questions on Allah. As we can see, the third world, the book 2001 Years of Disbelief, Dilemma of the Greater Religion, and many more, even in the platform Quora. A lot of questions asking about Allah, even the authenticity of Allah. Yes. And we see here, Palestine was savagely attacked by Israel. And people asking what Allah is doing. Does Allah exist? Did he not see what is happening? Is he not helping the Muslim? Is he favoring the Jew? Where is compassionate to us who worship him 5 times a day? All these questions coming out, we are hearing now. If you are not prepared, Islam, as a prophet say, will follow the previous society step by step. They enter the lizard hole, you will enter. But we are the Sufi. There can be changes in sectors like mazhab. There can be changes from no mazhab to mazhab. You have the Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, and the others too. And then you have the Shia, the Khawarij, and many more, which have a different version of Allah, not on all four with the Sunnah and Jama'ah. But the Sufi, only one. Okay? Now you don't talk tariqat as Sufi. Tariqat is different. Sufi, you begin with Awaluddin Marifatullah. All the prophets started with Awaluddin Marifatullah. That is a Sufi. And you can see even the other religion, Laozi, even the Buddhism, many more, even the Sikhism, you see many of their speech, their talks, are the talks of the Sufis. Because there's only one God, Allah. Jesus said, how can there be many concepts, when the only concept that is being handed down from one prophet to one prophet, that there is only one God, and to worship the one God. So many of these people also, the Sufis, before that they may not be called Sufis. They have their own words, their own Chinese words or Indian words or whatnot. Or the Sikhs. They are Sufis also. The Guru Nanak, when he reached the Nirvana, Marifatullah, he was bewildered. He ran through the jungle and all his clothes were shredded. Shaykh Abdul Qadir, when he got this, he ran and found himself 40 miles away from the place that he got this. Many more. And therefore Sikhism is considered not a religion. It's more like Sufism. Even Buddhism, more of a way of life. And inshallah, when we stand tall, we can bring them together with us. Because they and us, Awaluddin Ma'rifatullah. The first thing to know is God. The first thing in religion to know is God. So we are teaching a subject which is too advanced for the first world and more. So Muslims who are in the third world thinking, very difficult. They are blind. Allah exists, full stop. Allah is big, full stop. Allah encompassing, full stop. Everything, full stop. He is a manifest and hidden, full stop. There is no question to be asked, except blindly. That is the third world. Okay? We are trying to open up their mind to save the Ummah in the years to come, where the Ummah of the Jews floundered, their Sharia floundered. And the Sharia of the Christian floundered. I study Sharia of the Christian in London, ecclesiastical law. And their Sharia much tougher than Islamic Sharia. Very tough. Gone also. Tougher than us, but gone. Also the Torah. That's why Jesus said, I come not to abolish the Sharia of Moses, but to bring you back to Torah. Because your scholars, talking about the Jew and the Christian, your scholars have resolved a lot of resolution, fatwa. And this become law, replacing the Torah. Right? And therefore, you forgot about the Torah. Similarly, ours. We forgo. You see countries that apply Sharia law, criminal, civil, company, arbitration, all that, the whole world. Only a few states, only even that minute, not all. So what will happen to Quran in the future? When all human-made law become the governing law in the future, the Quran only for religious purpose, nothing more. But then when the question comes about Allah, we cannot answer. Our people will become atheists, free thinker and whatnot. So we are now giving this knowledge to our people who are in the third world. And I might remind you, you can see in my previous lectures, those runaway, Muslim runaway, I mean the one that went out of Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and many of the Muslim countries, they went into the first world country, Germany, Luxembourg, Paris, this France and so on. They are from the third world. They went into the first world. But when their mind cannot change, they remain third world in the first world and become a problem to the first world because they cannot assimilate with the first world. They still stick to their own way of the third world. Finally, they are set aside by the first world. And from there come up problem, crimes, drugs, a lot of violence, all that. Because, and this third world, in the first world, still thinking the third world, in the third world basis, cannot assimilate. We are trying to build a bridge to bring them to the first world. They do not have to worry about Islam. We take Singapore, for example, first world. But our Islam, okay, no problem. Even got surprised, got a Sufi in Singapore, you see. Okay. It's all right. But when you do not want to open your door, open your heart, open your mind to accept the changes of the first world, then you cannot live peaceful in the first world. You do. And great changes you cannot sustain, you cannot prevent, because that is the greatness of Allah. Okay. So we are more inclined to the mindset of our Muslim. We are giving them the knowledge of the first world and more. You don't want to accept, okay. But in the future, learn to bear the consequences. Like, for example, during the Ottoman Empire, you do not want to accept the making of firearms. You say not in the Quran, not in the Hadith, can build firearm. That destroyed the Ottoman Empire. That destroyed the Muslim Empire in India. And until today, you don't manufacture arms. Saudi have to buy. Emirates have to buy. Yemen have to buy. Many Arab countries, Jordan will have to buy. Because the Muslim scholar says, these are not in the book, so you can't build. You destroy the Ummah by making the Ummah very weak. And therefore, when Iran want to build armor, of course, the world not agree. Because now there's one Muslim country decided to stand tall. You cannot accept. Because all the Muslim countries become docile. That's why I told you, I lecture last time, give up these arms. You cannot win. How can you buy from enemies and attack the enemies? Cannot. Give up all this. Concentrate on nation building like Singapore. Give up. The children need food on the table, need to go to school, need to go hospital, need sanitary condition, water, electricity, all this. Instead, you spend money buying armaments, which actually destroy you and us, and give away our money, hard-earned money to them. Go for building, nation building, forget about the war. Tell the world one peace. Remember Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. He won by peaceful means. Give up all the armaments, use the money for nation building of the Muslim countries. That is my opinion. So, coming back, but what to do? We understood this. And all this also is the role play of the subtle one. I'm also talking, but you know, it's the subtle one. All that happening, the subtle one. Maybe this talking of mine is actually a way out from the subtle one. I don't exist. What comes to my mind, I speak out. And that comes from the subtle one. Every one of us, our thoughts are from the subtle one. Yeah? So, if you reach this knowledge, then you will never be ignorant. Never be ignorant. I will stop here. We'll continue the next time, inshallah.